Holloway House stood alone. It was a skeletal monument to a forgotten time. The old mansion was nestled deep within a valley. Dark woods choked the grounds. The trees pressed close. They seemed to claw at the rotting walls. The town of Oakhaven had once thrived. Now, only a few crumbling buildings remained. They were ghostly reminders of what had been. Holloway House was the most unsettling. Locals whispered tales. They spoke of a family vanished, gone without a trace. No one dared to go near the house. Not anymore, not after dark. Strange occurrences were whispered about. There were cold spots and eerie lights. Some swore they heard voices. They were faint but chilling. They seemed to seep from the very walls of the mansion. Only fools or the incredibly brave dared to approach. Holloway House was a place of palpable dread. It waited, shrouded in darkness. It was a hungry thing. It yearned for new souls to claim. The old house loomed. It was a spectre against the dying light. A group of teenagers stood at the edge of the woods. They were silhouetted against the setting sun. They were drawn to the mystery of Holloway House. They were both terrified and excited.
I don't believe the stories, not really, but I can't shake the feeling of being watched.
Next to him stood Emily. She was the adventurous one. She craved the thrill of the unknown. She clutched her camera tightly. She hoped to capture proof of the supernatural.
I just want to see if there's any truth to all these tales.
Rounding out the group was Ben. He was the quiet one. He was fascinated by the paranormal. He felt a pull towards the house. It was like an invisible force was drawing him in.
There's something about this place. I can't explain it, but it's like it's calling to me.
Whispers seemed to dance on the wind. They spoke of the lost family and their fate. The teenagers exchanged nervous glances. The air grew heavy. It was hard to breathe. A sense of dread settled over them. They were like lambs led to slaughter. The old iron gate groaned. It was a mournful sound. The teens stepped onto the overgrown path. Each step brought them closer to the imposing structure. The house seemed to watch their approach. Its empty windows were like vacant eyes. The front door creaked open. It revealed a cavernous maw of darkness. Dust motes danced in the faint rays of moonlight. The air inside was stale and cold. It carried the scent of decay. The silence was deafening. It pressed in on them. They stepped inside, their hearts pounding. The floorboards groaned beneath their weight. They moved cautiously. They entered the main hall. A grand staircase loomed before them. It was shrouded in shadows. Cobwebs clung to every surface. The air was thick with dust. It was as if time itself had stood still within these walls. Portraits of stern-faced strangers lined the walls. Their eyes seemed to follow the teenagers' every move. They explored the house. Each room was a testament to decay and neglect. They wandered through a dusty library. Books lay open on tables, frozen in time. They peeked into a formal dining room. A long, empty table dominated the space. It was set for a meal never to be eaten. In the parlor, they found a fireplace. It was cold and empty. Above the mantel hung a portrait. It depicted a family. Their faces were pale and gaunt. Their eyes seemed to bore into the teens' souls.
Oh my gosh, look at that portrait. It's changed.
Emily gasped. The portrait had changed. The family in the picture now wore expressions of pure horror. Their eyes were wide with fear. They seemed to be staring directly at the teenagers. The air crackled with energy. A low growl echoed through the house. It seemed to originate from the bowels of the mansion.
We need to get out of here. Now!
Fear coiled in their guts. It was time to leave.